Hi everyone, hi Ahmed. Ahmed asked me to record this video for you to help you learn English better because I am an English teacher and I've been teaching for over 10 years now all around the world, including in some Arabic countries. I was in United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia. So I know a little bit about Arabic learners and what they struggle with the most. So I'm going to tell you how you can learn English better, hopefully. Okay, so let's start with beginners. Okay, so for beginner Arabic learners of English, you can get better by practicing the phonetic alphabet because English and Arabic are very different and we have many different sounds that you don't have in Arabic. So I think it's important that you learn how we pronounce these different sounds. Like for example, in English, if you can see a P and a H, that's actually a F sound, like phone, telephone. Okay, so that is one thing. And another thing that I would suggest is that you master how to pronounce P and B, because when I was living in Saudi Arabia, I noticed that many students had problems with this particular pronunciation. So I'm going to show you an easy step or like a trick that you can do to know if you're pronouncing it correctly. So take a look. Okay, I'm going to show you how you know if you're pronouncing the P correctly. Watch this. Paper. Okay, if I say paper, you can see the paper moving. But if I say, for example, biscuits, banana, bus, balloon, okay, I'm saying many words with B, but the paper is not moving. That is how you know if you're pronouncing it correctly. It's called the paper test. So put the paper in front of your mouth and see if it moves. If it moves, you did a good job. If it doesn't move and you're trying to pronounce the P, you're doing it badly. You need P. The air must come out of your mouth. Okay, and finally, one more thing for beginners. I know that you make a lot of mistakes with the verb to be in English because they don't think you have it in Arabic. So practice, practice, and practice the verb to be. Just do many, for example, gap fill exercises and think of questions you can ask with the verb to be and just practice that way. There are many things you can find online for free and you just practice. That's the best thing to do until you get much better. Okay, now let's move on to intermediate learners. Intermediate learners are my favorite because they can learn much faster and a lot of information. Okay, so what is the best thing for you guys to learn English better? So let me think. Okay, first of all, I suggest that you watch television in English with English subtitles if possible. I'm not sure, or movies or films, anything you can find with English language for listening and English subtitles, because this way you will improve your vocabulary, you will improve your pronunciation and your listening skills. So it's a win-win really. Plus you get to have a good time, hopefully, as well. So I definitely do that. For example, I have Netflix, so when I want to practice my languages, I watch them in the language, which would be Spanish, I guess, and I put the subtitles on too sometimes if I want to. Other times I don't bother, but that's because I have a much more advanced level now. In the past, I used to watch with subtitles all the time, and it worked a lot. I learned many, many things, so I really suggest you do that. And music is good, but obviously these days there are lots of mistakes in it because it's more colloquial and more trendy and fashionable. So it's not good for learning English if you want to do an exam and you have to write correct English. But if you're talking to your friends or you want to make your own YouTube channel, I don't see the problem with it. Everyone has another opinion, so it's up to you. You can be relaxed and speak however you want, or you can be really, really formal and dictionary like. It's up to you. I don't mind. You can see which one I prefer. And finally, just let me check my notes. Okay, so intermediate. Oh yeah, and another good thing for intermediate learners is to try to start thinking in English. So every time you have a thought in your own language, try to change it to English. Like, oh no, I've got to do my homework today. Or no, I should be doing this or I should be doing that. We all have those thoughts in our heads, you know? So just try to change them to English, and then you will have stronger connections with the language. Also try to learn more about the English speaking culture in the different countries so you can understand why and how we actually use the language, because really no one sounds like a dictionary. Okay, finally, advanced learners. I love you guys because we get to do really fun stuff together. So advanced guys, definitely idioms, phrasal, verbs. You can listen to rap and R&B and whatever it is you don't want to listen to, because you should be able to understand when it is correct and why they use it. And as well as that, yeah, I don't know, like expressions, trendy vocabulary, watch the TV in English too, but maybe more difficult things like American movies or and without subtitles. You guys should not watch it with subtitles because you want to evolve your listening skills as much as possible. Unless, of course, you want to learn some extra vocabulary and you find it difficult, then put the subtitles on and check. But ideally without. Okay, so let me think. We've talked about beginners, we've talked about intermediate, advanced. Okay, now some tricks maybe for the first certificate, because I know many of you are doing the first certificate exam or the IELTS or the B1, okay, so, or C1, it doesn't matter because this trick applies to all of them. So I want you to think about the reading section, okay, where you have to read part of a text and answer questions, usually 1 to 8, at least in part 1 of the reading. So in this section, part 1 of the reading for the first certificate of the IELTS or whatever, the part where you have to read the text and answer questions, top tip, do not read the text, okay? It takes up so much time and you're just wasting your time that you don't have, especially in the first certificate, because you have 1 hour, 15 minutes to do all the reading and all of the use of English. You don't have time to waste reading. What you do, you read the question. So read question 1. Think about which answer you need and look for the answer in the text and scan it just really quickly. Look for the words. If you're asked about, oh, what did Jason eat for lunch? Chocolate, ice cream, or cake? Okay, try to find the answer quickly. Just look for a synonym or something similar, because they don't usually use the exact same words. The answer is always in the text. So I tell my students that they should use a pen or a pencil. Well, in the exam, you can't use a pen. It has to be a pencil. But when you're practicing, you can use what you want. But underline the text where the answer is. So you know you have proof that that is the answer, because otherwise you could make a mistake. So my students always have everything highlighted for each answer. Okay, question 1, where's the sentence that tells me the answer? Okay, this is proof. Question 2, where's proof that I had the answer? Okay, it's here. Do that for all of them. You can do that in all the sections too, except for the one where you have to do the gap fill, because that's a bit more difficult and you have to think differently. But in the section where you just have to find the answer to the question, underline the text where the answer is. End of story. And don't read it. Just read the question, find the answer. Read the question, find the answer. You'll save so much time that way. And usually you need to look for synonyms and just scan read. That means reading really quickly, only looking for specific words that are in the question. So I think that will really help you and save you a lot of time. And let me think, is there anything else? I told you about the verb to be, the phonetic alphabet, watching movies, thinking in English, and phrasal verbs and idioms. Well, those you can find online, or if anyone wants English classes, you can get in touch with me. That is okay as well. I also have Facebook and Instagram, which you can find me at Katherine Skelly. and I will be happy to help you with any questions that you might have regarding Cambridge exams or improving your English fast, which I specialize in my 12-month mentorship program. Okay, so I'm going to love you and leave you guys. There's a new English expression for you, and I hope to see you soon. If you do have any more questions, get in touch, and maybe Ahmed and I can do another video together sometime soon, and we can give you some specific tips on something that you need help with. Okay guys, bye.
في نهاية المقطع أتمنى يكون الفيديو نال إعجابكم، وما تنسوش تفعلوا زر الجرس وتشتركوا في القناة وتعملوا لايك للفيديو وتقولوا لنا رأيكم في الكومنتس عشان نقدر إن احنا نطور من الفيديوز القادمة مع مس كاثرين. قولوا لنا إيه الدروس اللي انتوا حابين تدرسوها من خلالها، وهنحاول إن احنا ننشر ماتيريالز كتير بحيث إن انتوا تتدربوا كويس جدا على اللغة، سواء جرامر أو كلمات أو سواء English tests. ما تنساش تعمل امتحان تحديد مستوى من خلال اللينكات في أسفل الفيديو، وأتمنى يكون الفيديو نال إعجابكم. ما تنسوش بقى توصلوا الفيديو ده ل 500 لايك، وإن شاء الله نحاول إن احنا نطور من نفسنا الفترة الجاية ونفيد بعض. أشوفكم على خير الحلقة الجاية. السلام عليكم.